The leg is about this region, really lean, really good for things like gammons and hams. Coming down from the leg, we've got the loin, and that's where the pork chop come from. If you take the bones out, you can bone and roll it, and you end up with a really nice, easy to cook cylinder of meat, really easy to carve like a loaf of bread. Coming away from the loin, we've got the belly, and you can see the belly is made up of fatty parts and meaty parts. Don't be scared of the amount of fat that's on it. You need that fat to give the. Also, make sure you're slightly fattier than the rest of the animal. You can see with this pork, make sure you look for the marbling. It's essential for the flavour, and it's going to make a really good eating experience. With a pig, there really is nothing to waste. The trotters even are really good flavour because of their gelatinous qualities, and the meat can be really, really flavoursome. Also, there's pig's cheeks, which obviously require a little bit more cooking because of the use they get, but the flavours you're going to get are going to be completely different to any other part of a pig.
Pork is an incredibly versatile meat. They say the only part you can't eat is the oink. Here's my guide to getting the best out of familiar cuts. Smoked or unsmoked bacon is not just for breakfast. It's brilliant transforming salads, gives a real depth of flavour to stews, and is delicious in quick and easy pasta dishes. The leg joint, best known for ham, also makes an inexpensive, delicious Sunday roast and is great served with peas pudding. And the tenderloin fillet, incredibly lean, healthy and fast to cook. You can stuff it, cut it into scallops or strips that are perfect for Asian stir fries. A calm kitchen is an efficient and effective kitchen. The less stressed you are, the better the food you'll prepare. So whenever you can, get ahead with your cooking.
Here are 3 of my favourite recipes that can be made beforehand and whose flavour improves over time.
First up, Moroccan lamb with sweet potato and raisin. This super simple, hassle-free recipe is cooked all in one pot. Start by browning chunks of lamb in hot olive oil. Colour and remove. Then fry onions. Season. Add chopped garlic, ground ginger and coriander. A teaspoon of whole cumin, paprika and fennel seeds. Chunks of sweet potato and the juicy browned lamb. For a sweet note, add plump raisins. Then cover with stock and simply leave to simmer for a couple of hours. Delicious eaten straight away, but over time the flavours will develop and improve. When you're ready to serve, simply finish with fresh parsley. Minimal preparation and ready when you want it. Fantastic Moroccan lamb with sweet potato and raisin. My next super simple dish that just gets better and better with time is chili chicken with ginger and coriander. Start by chopping chicken thighs into pieces. Now on with the marinade. Chop garlic, ginger, red chili, and lemon juice. In a pan, toast coriander and cumin seeds to release their flavours, grind and add to the chicken. Then pour over yogurt. Add turmeric and season. Mix and leave to marinate from 2 hours to overnight. Chopped onions in olive oil. Then add chopped garlic and ginger. Garam masala and turmeric. Tomato puree and butter. Next, add the marinated chicken and all the remaining marinade and cook until tender. Finally, top with coriander. Marinated for flavour and cooked in 20 minutes. Chili chicken with ginger and coriander, a simple, stress-free wonder. Having a delicious sauce on hand to serve with simply cooked fish or meat is a brilliant stress buster. My final recipe is sweet pepper sauce with grilled prawns. For the sauce, in hot olive oil, fry chopped garlic and diced bread. Then put them in a blender, add chopped tomatoes, This is the skin of red peppers under a hot grill, intensifying the flavour. Leave to cool, and they're easy to peel. Chop and add. Blitz. Add smoked paprika, chili flakes, and roughly chopped almonds. A squeeze of lemon, and a dash of sherry vinegar. Season. Blitz again, and add olive oil. This sauce keeps really well in the fridge and will intensify in flavour. I love it with simple king prawns. Just add olive oil and griddle for 2 minutes on each side. Sweet pepper sauce with grilled prawns, simply delicious. Made in advance, ready when you want them. 3 stunning, simple recipes that take the stress out of the kitchen.
Beautiful.
5 more of my 100 tips to make your home cooking easier. Kicking off with how to skin and debone a fish the hassle-free way.
This is basically a filleted side of salmon. It's been taken off the bone and now skin off. Pick up your knife, a really nice broad, flexible filleting knife. Little sharpen, lift up the base of the towel and then just nick a little bit at the end there. Twist the knife almost as if it's horizontally underneath the salmon. Pull the skin and you slice salmon underneath and let the knife do the work. Now, get your skin, flip it back over and check you're not leaving too much salmon on top of the skin. Pull it back and nice and slowly get the skin, wrap it around your fingers, pull the salmon towards you and then just all the way through. Lay that down. One nicely skinned salmon, just like a perfect snake skin. Get your knife and just run the knife down and then with a pair of tweezers, these are fish tweezers, but you can use normal tweezers, look for the head, up and pull. And with the skin being removed from underneath the salmon, the pin bones come out a lot easier. And the pin bones only go to just basically halfway along the fillet. One nice fillet of salmon, beautiful.
There's still plenty of flavour in the trimmings from a filleted fish. My tip is don't waste those fish bones. Add to water, wine, a bay leaf, and some chopped veg to make a simple but versatile fish stock at home, the perfect base for a delicious fish soup. A great tip for intensely flavoured stress-free veg is to steam them in their own juices. Simply add to a pan with a knob of butter and seasoning, then cook on a low heat with the lid on to lock in the moisture. For crispy roast potatoes you can depend on, my tip is to parboil them, leave them to steam dry, then sprinkle them with semolina or flour and give them a good roughing up. This ensures they go really crispy in the oven. A great tip for browning meat or fish, then you'll get a much better colour. Too much moisture makes the meat steam instead of sear, and you'll lose that rich brown crust like the one I got on those sticky pork ribs. Another secret to taking the stress out of cooking is to anticipate the really busy times when you'll need things to hand that are already made. My next recipe can be kept on tap in the fridge for weeks on end and is guaranteed to liven up any quick meal. Spicy chutney.
With chutney standing by in the fridge, you can always add that special little touch to a simple supper. Prove that thinking ahead always pays off. Pan on to start toasting those spices. Keep the pan nice and low. Cumin, very aromatic, very fragrant, and it's almost like a light spice. Next, nice little coriander seeds. Coriander in. Now you're going to get a bit of heat in the chutney. Mustard seeds, a lot smaller than coriander seeds, but so much more powerful. Mustard seeds in. Now, curry leaves. They don't actually smell much dry, but the flavour they give off is extraordinary. Curry leaves in. Really important not to burn them, otherwise you'll have that bitter taste across the chutney. Keep the gas nice and low. The secret is sort of toasting them so it releases that oil and intensifies the spice. Touch of salt, and then a couple of small, powerful chilies. Keep them whole. No one's going to eat them, but it gives that real nice burst of heat. Now, let them toast gently there. We're not going to chop the onion, we're going to grate it. Why? Because it sort of breaks down to a really nice puree in the chutney when you grate it. Hold the root in the palm of your hand and just push. Nice long grates. Want those nice long shards. Look, I've almost got a nice sort of onion puree, but it's nice and clear. A touch of olive oil. Spices, nicely toasted, onions in. Lay it nice and flat, and just slice the garlic. Nice thin slices. Garlic in.
Taking your time to get the onions caramelized beautifully will really reap rewards in the long run.
Tamarind paste and sugar. In with the sugar first. 3 nice tablespoons of sugar. That will give a really nice syrup effect. Sort of nice, rich, syrupy texture to the chutney. Tamarind paste.
You get tamarind paste in most delis and the big supermarkets.
Really nice thickening agent, but gives that tartness to the chutney. And it's sort of rich, sugary, spicy. Next, in with my coconut. Add 4 nice tablespoons. That will give a nice body and a really nice texture to the chutney. Cook that coconut out, and now add the carrot. Grated. The carrot just gives the chutney a really nice sort of crunch, but it also helps to sort of cool down the spice. Carrots in. The water comes out of the carrot, flavors the chutney beautifully, but gives that nice sort of vibrant, bright color to it as well. And grating it almost sort of, it cooks instantly, but I want a bit of texture through here. Turn down the gas and just let that simmer for 5 minutes. The carrots are that moist and juicy there. Just cook that out for 5 minutes. Just as those carrots start going nice and soft, don't overcook them. You want that nice texture in there. Slightly spicy, slightly sweet. Gas off. With chilies in there. It's beautiful. Nice and gooey, delicious, and ready to go in its jar. As that sits in the fridge, it just gets better and better and better. I love to eat this chutney with cold meat or even cold fish, but with ham, it's amazing. It's a really nice way of livening up the ham. Just sort of roll it up. Get a nice spoon of chutney. I mean, it looks fantastic. Chutney onto the plate and serve. And that is a nice little gem in the fridge that is worth prepping in advance for.
Follow my ultimate cookery course crammed with key lessons, top tips, and 100 recipes to stake your life on. And you'll literally be cooking yourself into a better chef. Many of these amazing recipes are on my app.
Please check out the App Store for details.
Go on, get cooking. right, this is my guide to amazing home-cooked street food classics. Street food gets its name because it's cooked and eaten on the streets. From the hawker markets in Asia to the New York hot dog stands, there are some great chefs out there serving seriously delicious food that you can eat on the go. My first recipe is a special mix of fantastic flavors from around the world. Beef tacos with wasabi mayo.
The great thing about street food is anything goes. The only rule is you've got to be really fast and really tasty. Now, these tacos mix some Mexican and Japanese flavors into a delicious, meaty mouthful. First off, get that pan really nice and hot. These are sirloin steaks. Sear it in the pan with all that fat on. It'll add flavour. Salt and pepper. 1 tablespoon of olive oil in. Pan nice and hot. Lay it in. Always lay away. Give the pan a little shake and it stops the steak from sticking. We're looking for colour. If it sticks, it's going to burn.
While the steaks are cooking, I can go on with my super quick marinade.
Now, 2 tablespoons of toothpaste. So, fermented soybean. That gives a really nice sort of rich sweetness. Tablespoon of sugar. A couple of tablespoons rice wine. That gives it a really nice vinegary kick. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Salt. Pepper. I'm looking for a nice sort of thick, rich marinade.
Marinade done, it's time to turn the steaks.
Give the steaks a little baste. All we're doing every time is just adding more and more flavour. Take your tongs and sort of lift the steak on its back. Melt all that fat down. Off with the gas. Get them out. Just take your knife. Pull that fat. Slice it off. Now, in to the marinade. Beautiful.
Tacos are one of Mexico's most popular street foods. They can be made from beef, pork, chicken or fish and are loaded up with amazing sauces and spices.
Now, I want something sort of pickly. Cabbage. These are Chinese cabbages. Slice it in half. Look at it, really crisp and really tasty. We're going to slice that into quarters and then just shred it and take your time. Braised, overcooked cabbage, nothing worse. But in a taco, you want freshness. A little season of chili flakes. They sort of discreetly give it a little bit of heat. A little touch of rice wine vinegar. If you haven't got that, fresh lemon juice. A small drop of toasted sesame seed oil. Give that a really good mix. Now I need something to sort of bring it together. We take some wasabi paste. Very hot, very spicy, a sort of thumbnail size. I'm gonna mix that with a couple of tablespoons of mayonnaise and give that a really good mix. These are basic corn tortilla. The trick is to sort of colour them and then shape them. Actually place it on the gas ring. Use some tongs so as not to burn yourself.
You can also toast your tacos in a frying pan.
From there, I'm just going to place it on the rolling pin. Literally 30 seconds as it cools down.
The great thing about serving tacos is people can fill them themselves, just the way they want them.
Cabbage, just squeeze out, wet marinade. A nice, rustic little mountain. Mayonnaise. Wait till you see how soft and delicious and almost sort of melting in the mouth texture we've got on this amazing sirloin. So we've got that really nice back of the spoon with the wasabi mayonnaise. inside taco. And just sprinkle that delicious cabbage, and then just start lining spices. Touch more of my spicy mayo. And that is how I taco. When you want comfort food quick, fast food classics always deliver. Here are 3 more of my street food favourites. All super easy, but still put the gourmet into grab and go. This street food dish packs a wonderful Indian influence. Subtly spiced chicken wrap. Grab a mortar and pestle to make a spicy marinade for the chicken. Crack open cardamom pods and add ground ginger, coriander, cinnamon, grated nutmeg, cloves of garlic, fresh coriander, lemon juice, olive oil, and season. Now pulverize to form a paste. Pour over the chicken thighs and leave to marinate for up to 2 hours. To cook, griddle on a high heat to get wonderfully charred meat. Once the chicken is cooked, warm through tortilla wraps on the same griddle. Then simply slice your chicken and put your wrap together. Top with shredded cabbage, chopped spring onion, and your favourite chili sauce. Ready in 20 minutes, sticky, succulent, and utterly Moorish spiced chicken wrap. Tasty chili dogs. For super quick and easy beef chili, add chopped onions to hot olive oil and cook until soft. Then add chopped garlic, a teaspoon of cumin seed, and stir to release their lovely aromatic flavour. Next, chili powder, tomato puree, and cook through. Next, a glug of spicy Worcestershire sauce, chopped tin tomatoes, dried oregano, add a sprinkle of sugar, cook frankfurter or bratwurst sausages, and simply top with the spicy beef chili. Easy and irresistible, a dog worth crossing the street for. The third street food inspired recipe is Vietnamese style baguette with beef. Start slicing sirloin steak into strips. Then simply marinate in soy sauce, the salty, and runny honey, the sweet. And leave for up to 2 hours. Then thread your marinated beef strips onto skewers. And pan fry in hot olive oil. For the topping, which adds a lovely sour contrast, grate carrot and simply leave to pickle in rice vinegar. Next, make the easy dressing. Simply de-seed and chop a chili. Add caster sugar and lime juice. Add a glug of fish sauce. Slice a baguette. When lovely and brown, the marinated steak skewers are done. Remove and add. Top with the pickled carrot. Add cool sliced cucumber. Drizzle over the spicy dressing. And to finish it off, add coriander leaves. Simple to make, complex in flavour. Absolutely delicious. Food on the run to a whole new level. And so simple to do. You need to spend a fortune on masses of kitchen equipment.
Another cooking essential.
Frying pan. For me, one of my favourites. Why? Because it's so versatile. Whether you're searing the most amazing rack of lamb, cooking duck breast, sauteing chicken, or even a quick omelette, or even frying an egg, all in one.
Look for an oven-proof frying pan with a metal handle if you want to cook like pros, by finishing off your dish in the oven or under a hot grill. Just don't forget, when you take it out, the handle will be hot. If you can, get a high-quality non-stick one with a thick, heavy base which will distribute the heat evenly.
Brilliant.
Like any passionate chef, I want the best ingredients I can find, whether it's for savoury or sweet dishes.
Next up, our guide to buying chocolate.
Chocolate gives you such an instant hit. It's well worth knowing about the good stuff. And who's better to ask than the award-winning alchemist of the sweetest kind, Paul Young.
Even when I don't want to think about it, I'm thinking about it.
His cutting-edge approach to chocolate making has won him accolades around the world.
So when you're not shopping, the best way is to look at your chocolate bar, look on the back and look at the percentage. That gives you how much cocoa is in the bar. And the more cocoa, creating flavour. So the most exciting bit is tasting chocolate. Good quality fine chocolate should have that clean snap. Bite a piece off and crunch it in your teeth. But stop doing. Let it melt. Move it around the mouth, and you'll find that by letting it melt, even dark chocolate that you've had before, that seems quite bitter, won't be. When you chew quickly, it releases tannin. It releases all the bitterness in the chocolate. It releases something into the brain called dopamine, which makes you feel good. And that's how you get addicted to real chocolate.
Chocolate's not just an addictive treat, it's an amazing ingredient. Here's my take on which kind to use for what. White chocolate, with its sweet vanilla taste, is perfect used as a dipping or pouring sauce with fresh fruit or frozen berries for a quick dessert. Creamy milk chocolate is great for family-friendly puddings and treats, like quick-baked cakes or melt it onto homemade crepes or waffles. Dark chocolate is rich and intense. Ice creams that really pack a punch. 100% pure cocoa has a very powerful, intense taste, and only the real chocolate geeks eat it straight. And remember, chocolate isn't just for sweet dishes. For the famous Mexican mole sauce, this is the one to grab.
Is there anything better than chocolate? They say sex, but that's totally overrated.
Chocolate is the key ingredient in my favourite sweet fast food dishes, which at their best are always irresistible, instant and utterly satisfying. When you want an indulgent chocolate hit, my next recipe
is all about satisfying your cravings. These donuts are sticky and absolutely delicious. First off, we're going to make the dough. Now, this dough takes a bit of time, but it's really exciting.
I'm heating all of the milk with the sugar.
This yeast, easy to get hold of. When you make fresh donuts, you need fresh yeast,
which will help the dough to rise.
The sugar's dissolved in the milk. Fresh yeast disintegrates instantly.
Set the yeast mixture to one side while it does its job. To start the main dough mix, I'm adding half the butter to the remaining milk.
That gives the dough a nice silkiness. I want it light. So melt the butter into the milk. Flour into a sieve. That helps to make the dough nice and smooth. And you know what? When you've got a smooth dough, it sort of rises evenly.
Add a pinch of salt and 2 egg yolks. Pour in the warm milk and melted butter.
Don't start over mixing it. When you over mix the dough of a donut, it gets really tight. You're not going to let it aerate. Yeast in. Nice and warm. I love that smell. Now, I'm looking for a sort of elasticy texture. Just dropping off the spoon. Nice. Flour the board. Take the dough out. Lovely. Lightly sprinkle, touch more flour. Pull it over and push in. And every time you're sort of turning it, almost like you're turning the dough into itself. The dough should just sort of relax. It shouldn't be sticking to your fingers now. It's just nice and pliable. Set that in a nice clean bowl. little sprinkling of flour in there. So as it starts to rise, it doesn't stick. Cover that with thin film.
Leave the dough to rise in a warm place for 60 to 90 minutes until it's doubled in size. This stage is called proving.
Now, whilst that's proving, get a pan on.
For the chocolate filling or ganache, pour 500 ml of double cream into a saucepan and add honey. Bring the mixture to a gentle boil.
Traditionally, we've always put jam in there, but chocolate and donuts, wow, to die for. Add the cream. Now give that a good mix. The butter elevates the ganache into a really nice, shiny chocolate coat. Look at that. Whoa. Give it a really nice whisk. So whisking gives it that aerated texture to the ganache. You're just lightening the load a little bit. Whoa. Nice.
Chocolate filling done. Put it in the fridge to cool, then it's time to gently roll out the dough.
Just let it roll naturally. 1.5 centimeters in depth. Slice. 1, 2. Place them on to your tray and let them rise again.
Once the donuts have had 30 to 40 minutes to rise, it's time to shallow fry them in a pan filled 1/3 full with hot vegetable oil.
Risen, but look, they're sort of like little pockets of air. Right, here we go. Place these in nice and carefully. 4 maximum. If there's too many in the pan, the oil will go cold and the donuts will come out soggy. Turn them over. Beautiful. They're going to come out into some sugar mixed with some malt powder. 50-50. How do you tell they're actually cooked in the center? Tap on top. It should be hollow. In. And just sprinkle malt, sugar. Take off the excess. I get so excited every time I make donuts. Now, the beauties.
These are delicious, eaten as they are. The ganache is going to be the icing on the cake.
Piping back. Over your hands. Don't forget to pop the nozzle in. I want the texture. Almost like a liquid inside. Hopefully with that burst of magic. Operation donut. Lift up the donut. Squeeze, push in and fill. Just till you start seeing that chocolate coming out. And sit that back down. Nice. Sit them on there. They've got a little bit heavier, and we all know why. Nice. That one's got my name on it. Whoa. That is amazing. Whoa. Next, my tricks of the trade and kitchen tips.
Starting with how to do your steak the way you want it.
I want to cook my steak rare, so by touching the steak, I want the same feedback as it is on the inside of my thumb. That's rare. When it starts to cook, it gets a lot firmer. Medium is there, semi-firm with a slight resistance. Well done is there. Rare.
A great tip for getting meat or fish to cook faster is to score it, which allows the heat to penetrate quicker. This also allows marinades to be absorbed more deeply. For stain-free Tupperware, coat it thinly with oil, which acts as a barrier between plastic and food. It's so easy to make your own chili sherry using quick stir-fries or sauces. Take 450 ml of dry sherry, such as Fino, and using a funnel, pour into a sterilised bottle. Add 5 whole Thai chilies, seal with a cork or lid, and leave to infuse for a couple of weeks. My tip for using any discarded chili seeds is plant them to grow yourself some new chili peppers. Plant in an eggshell or seedling trays. Start them indoors and move outside when they're ready. Follow my ultimate cookery course crammed with key lessons, top tips, and 100 recipes to stake your life on, and you'll literally be cooking yourself into a better chef. Many of these amazing recipes are on my app. Please check out the App Store for details. Go on, get cooking. First job, a pomegranate marinade for the quail, which have been cut in half and flattened. Are they small?
Yeah, it's tiny.
So it's almost like a sort of nice entrance into eating something slightly gamey. Okay, if you give them a nice season for me, salt and pepper, and all spatchcock means is that the rib cage has been taken out and they're flattened down. And because the bird is so delicate, it's flattened to cook evenly, and it really is a nice sort of light, gamey, dense chicken flavour. So we're going to toast the spices. When you think of Middle Eastern food, it's packed with amazing flavours. A tablespoon of coriander, a teaspoon of cumin, and a nice little seasoning of salt. So we toast them now, intensifying the flavour. When they start smoking lightly, that's a nice indication that they're ready. Okay. You grind away. So the best thing there, let's just send it close to Debbie. Thank you. Oh, look, your tummy's out. I thought it was the quail, it was your tummy. This hand here keeps it nice and firm, and you grind that into a nice powder for Betty, please.
It smells so good.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if you get that in, really go around the outsides and that grinds it up.
Fast.
And go around the pestle and mortar more times than you kiss boys. Squeeze the garlic in. Next. A little glove of olive oil. Okay, and I want you to pour 6 tablespoons, please. So that is pomegranate molasses. So it's like an aged balsamic vinegar, but really reduced down. Give that a nice mix up.
Is it going to be very sweet, Dad?
A little taste. It's sweet, but sour.
Yeah, it is.
Now,
So good, though.
no. Take a nice spoon, put it inside the quail. You can even do this the night before. Good. Pop it in the fridge. Let the quail marinate anywhere from half an hour to overnight. For my ultimate Middle Eastern dessert, it's got to be baklava. Start by melting butter in a pan.
pistachios in a blender. Then combine with caster sugar and lemon zest. Brush the melted butter around a small baking tray. Place half a sheet of filo pastry on the base. Brush well with melted butter. And sprinkle with the pistachio mix. Repeat and press down between layers. You're looking to create 30 to 35 layers. Then cut the baklava into bite-sized rectangles and bake in a preheated oven for 30 to 40 minutes. Meanwhile, make your delicious citrusy syrup. Simply add water to a pan along with caster sugar and the zest and juice of a lemon. 7 to 10 minutes, making sure the sugar has fully dissolved. Now, to give the baklava wonderful sweetness, remove from the oven and whilst hot, pour over the syrup so each layer is gloriously sticky. Leave the baklava to absorb the syrup for at least 12 hours. These delicious sticky treats will keep for a week, but they're so moorish they'll be gone in a flash. The quails have marinated, now they're ready to cook.
Nice hot pan. Pick up your quail and skin side down first. Okay. Get all that nice colour. And always open them up as well in the pan. Okay, we'll get that skin crispy, that's right. Smell that pomegranate?
I can really smell it. It smells so good.
You get all that marinade in there. You know, cook with it as well. Don't waste it.
How long on average does it take to cook, did you say?
Literally, about 12 to 15 minutes in the oven. A little touch of water in. Bring that up to the boil. Into the oven, 180, so 12 to 15 minutes. Okay?
Yeah.
Final job before serving, a herby butter bean salad to go with my quail in pomegranate molasses.
Now, one of the things that I love about Middle Eastern salads is the sort of crunch and the colour as well. Butter beans, it's going to be the base of our salad. From there, little radishes into the top. And curl them, put them like that, and throw them in. There's nothing small and dainty in there, okay?
Yeah.
So, with the spring onions, nice, we're going to use the greens and the whites. I'm going to slice along that way this time, so you got those nice light shards, okay?
Yeah.
Now, the croutons are made out of these little pita breads. Just slice lengthways.
In with the salad?
Oh, yes. This salad's all about texture. So cucumber, okay? And take out the seeds.
How comes you're taking the seeds out?
It just makes the salad very watery.
Like a shower.
Okay? Cucumber juice. Delicious. That gets you going, yeah, you got me going. You really got me going. No. Oh, yeah.
I've got revision to be doing.
Don't worry, this is far more important. Trust me. Who
relax.
needs exams when you can cook for a living?
You
fine.
gave me with my exam.
It's fine. Be a chef for a living. Have a proper job. Don't tuck your things out like that. You'll be thumbless. Let's go. Now, good cucumber in. From there, take your nice, vibrant tomatoes, slice down.
It almost looks like a Greek salad as
Does
well,
it?
with all the colours.
It resembles that. That's right. And with the celery,
Like before.
yeah, lengthways. So we need some mint and parsley. I want you sprinkling it in there. It really makes it through. The herbs give it that nice kind of freshness. But I want a bit of a bite in there now.
I love pomegranate.
So, just carefully open that up. So we've got a bit of fruitiness now into the salad.
For crunch, simply cut up whole pita breads, fry in a really hot pan with olive oil until wonderfully golden, crispy, and irresistible.
Out into a sieve. Okay.
Next, a sprinkle of sumac,
Dried fruit from the Middle East.
zest of a lemon and the juice, then a drizzle of olive oil, and last but not least, my crunchy pita croutons.
Just making the croutons on.
Wow, they've gotten hard.
And then just lift that up and then mix it in your hands there. Nice and gentle, just with your fingertips. There you go, so you just mix.
It doesn't crush
And
anything.
doesn't crush anything. But then let's just take a little bean.
Wow.
Is that delicious?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Now, quail. It's got that really sort of toasted, almost like a sort of light
Smells so good.
barbecue flavour.
Can't wait to try it.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And then just finally,
Bit of lemon zest.
it just lightens everything up a little bit. And it goes so well with the pomegranate. Now just,
Wow.
that will smell better than any boyfriend you'll ever have. Oh, God.
I beg to differ.
Okay, good. Let's go. How delicious is that?
That's so delicious.
My Middle Eastern feast of quail with a pomegranate molasses and butterbean salad with baklava to follow. When dishes are this aromatic and colourful, there's no wonder that Middle Eastern food is always a hit. You can't get more classic than a centuries-old midday meal of bread, cheese and beer. Reinvented and marketed by pubs as a ploughman's lunch in the 60s, I'm now giving it my 21st century take.
Right, ploughman's with the most amazing but super simple beer-baked bread, hearty and full of flavour.
For a really quick and easy bread dough, sieve a mix of wholemeal and self-raising white flour with a good pinch of salt.
Salt is really important in the bread. It's the first thing I do once I've cracked it and smelt. You want to smell that salt baked throughout. Beer in, about 250 mils of beer. The reason why this recipe works so well is that the beer has got that yeast. So naturally, it's going to work beautifully. Give that a really good mix. I'm looking for the mixture to be quite wet. If the dough becomes too firm, then it's going to cook dry in the centre. Just as it starts to fall through the whisk, that is perfect. Beautiful.
This mix will work really well as one large loaf, but I want to make my ploughman's a little bit more special.
Small tins give it that kind of intimacy. And I quite like having my own little loaf. The moulds are really nice lining with butter. Make sure you butter the top. Now, tablespoon of flour. Dust inside the mould. That will stop your mixture sticking. Tap out any excess. 3/4 fill your little moulds. We're going to allow it to sort of rise just so it comes above the mould and forms this really nice miniature loaf. Onto the tray, centimetre apart. Into the oven, 25 to 30 minutes at 180. Something quite nice about the smell of home-baked bread in the kitchen. Delicious.
No ploughman's is complete without pickled onions.
Red onion is a lot sweeter, less harsh than a white onion. The early days of ploughman's, you've got those ghastly, sharp, pickled onions that make you almost cry when you're crunching them. I'm gonna lightly pickle my red onion. Just push your fingers through so you get these nice sort of onion rings. A little touch of salt, a little sprinkle of sugar, and then a couple of cloves in there. That gives it a really nice sort of perfume. It sort of makes the pickling slightly more mellow. Red wine vinegar. Now, if you haven't got red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, it's just as good, but red matches the red onion, so it goes hand in glove. A couple of tablespoons of vinegar. Just give that a really good mix.
To speed up the pickling process, use a weight to put pressure on the onions.
The weight presses down on the onions, the clove, the salt, the sugar, the vinegar work their magic. It comes out with a really nice, light, fragrant pickle.
For my 21st century ploughman's, I'm creating an all-in-one salad and bringing the traditional elements together with a punchy dressing. A tablespoon of English mustard, a tablespoon of honey, a touch of salt and pepper, and finish off with white wine vinegar and olive oil.
Now, generally, it's sort of 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. That's the sort of general base. You don't really think of a vinaigrette with a ploughman's, but this is a really nice sort of modern approach to a ploughman's.
For my ploughman's salad, I'm using a mixture of robust and crunchy romaine lettuce, and punchy watercress.
If I was making a watercress soup, I'd use the stalks. But the stalks are a little bit bitter, so I just grab them like that, pinch them, and then twist. Very peppery, very hot, but so juicy. Watercress in, your celery, nice and finely. It's the one thing that everybody leaves is that stick of celery, so scatter it amongst the salad.
A bit of oomph and colour from some sliced radishes, and sweetness from a thinly sliced apple. Whilst you're busy throwing your ploughman salad together, do not forget about your beer bread.
Before it comes out, I'm going to glaze the top with a little touch of milk. That'll put a really nice finish to the bread. Back in for the last 5 minutes. Now for the magic in the ploughmans. Generally, you'll see it as a ham or cheddar or Stilton ploughmans. It's hard to dictate which one's the best.
So, for the ultimate ploughmans, I'm adding all three.
With your cheddar, peel some nice shards of that delicious, creamy cheddar. Just get them dancing on top. The dressing, drizzle around in circles. And then finally, our delicious, lightly pickled onions. Give them a good squeeze. And look, just dot the onions around. Bread is ready. Got that nice, yeasty smell. Warm, crusty, and delicious. And there you go. That is my classic modern version of a traditional, stunning ploughman's. Wow.
Delicious all-in-one ploughman salad with individual beer bread loaves, updated for the 21st century. Lightly fried, my delicious halloumi and courgette cakes squeeze every last bit of flavour out of those vegetables. But first, I'm preparing a simple slow roast tomato and watercress salad.
These cherry tomatoes are perfect. If you haven't got cherry tomatoes, vine tomatoes are good, or even just big, normal plum tomatoes. Lay the tomatoes on the tray. These go into the oven for about 90 minutes.
If you turn the oven down really low, you can leave them in overnight.
To be honest, the longer you leave them, the better they taste.
Once you've seasoned them with salt, sprinkle over with some sugar.
And the salt and sugar combined speeds up the drying process because you want that nice chewy texture. And then you get these little thyme flowers and just pick off the buds. Garlic, sliced. And then just spread that on. Now the tray looks quite full and compact. For 90 minutes in the oven, you'll see everything shrink down, all the skin blistering, and the flavour intensifies so nicely. Extra virgin olive oil, that gives a nice earthy flavour to the tomatoes.
Place your tomatoes into an oven preheated to 150 degrees C and cook long and slow for an hour and a half.
Now, halloumi cakes. There's something quite exciting about halloumi cheese. It's a very firm cheese and it fries brilliantly. Peel the carrots. Great. Not too finely. You want that nice texture.
Next, courgette.
The secret is keeping it all grated the same. Put that into a sieve.
Sprinkling of salt will draw out liquid from the vegetables. Then grate the halloumi.
Halloumi cheese doesn't look that tasty. Once you've got colour on it in the pan, it's really, really delicious. Now, really important, is squeeze out the excess water from the veg. And you'll see all that water needs to come out of there. If you can do this, it'll make your little patties non-friable because the whole thing starts to separate. And then mix in with the cheese. Spring onions, chop up the whites and the greens. Now we're going to season that with some delicious fresh mint and fresh coriander. Whenever it's vegetarian, I like to put a combination of herbs in there. Tarragon and parsley, mint and coriander, basil and lemongrass.
All delicious on their own, but in tandem, their flavours play off each other.
Next, 2 eggs in. Give that a little mix. Add the eggs to the mixture. And then finally, a couple of tablespoons of breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs help dry out any excess moisture. Mix all the ingredients together. Before you start shaping these, taste the mixture. It's really important to identify the seasoning now.
If you wait until you've cooked them, it'll be too late to adjust the seasoning.
Roll them into a large golf ball. Shape them like a little mini burger. Spice these up with some chili in there. If you haven't got fresh chili flakes. And it's something that can be done up a day in advance.
To get your cakes firm and ready for frying, put them into the fridge uncovered for 25 minutes.
And I'll get that nice and hot. Whilst I'm waiting for that, I'll get the dressing ready.
Slice the red chili, seeds and all, on an angle into shards. Then chop fresh ginger. Season with a sprinkle of sugar and salt. Add some rice wine vinegar. Add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. To finish off, some chopped coriander.
Got that sweet, sour, spicy flavour.
With my chili dressing done, I can start frying off my halloumi cakes in a hot oiled pan.
We get that nice, crisp edge. You can already start to smell that sautéed halloumi with the courgettes and carrots. It smells delicious. Really important to put a nice amount of colour on them.
As my cakes sizzle away, I can finish off my roast tomato salad.
One of my favourite leaves has to be watercress. Just cut off stalks, shallot rings. Watercress and shallot go brilliantly well together. The shallot looks so dainty when you open up these little ringlets.
Don't forget to turn your cakes.
Now, tomatoes. Whatever you don't use, just jar them and put them in the fridge. Just drop those slow cooked warm tomatoes over the watercress. The sweetness is incredible. Absolutely.